Hey everybody, welcome to Arcane Wednesday for January 27th, 2021. I'm your host, DM Gallibond. Alright, tonight we're going to take a look at a spell that is unique to 5e and very similar to a spell that we're going to look at later on. And actually, they're both 7th level spells. And I'm going to reference that spell in tonight's episode, and I'll reference this spell in that other episode. And I kind of want you to, I'd like to see in the comments whether you feel like this spell is appropriately powered or whether the level is too high or too low. Because while the two spells are similar, they have different sets of criteria. And I'm not quite sure whether they're well balanced with each other because of the differences that they have, or whether one is actually too powerful and should be a different level. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at the Create Magen spell from D&D 5e. Right. So, Create Magen. What this spell is, a 7th level spell, takes 1 hour to cast, and it is a range of touch. Requires verbal, somatic, and material components, instantaneous transmutation, and what it does. Okay. This sounds like the world's creepiest wizard laboratory. Okay. While casting the spell, you place a vial of quicksilver in the chest of a life-size human doll stuffed with ash or dust. You then stitch up the doll and drip your blood on it. At the end of the casting, you tap the doll with a crystal rod, transforming it into a Magen, clothed in whatever the doll was wearing. Type of Magen is chosen by you during the casting of the spell. And there's Demos Magens, Galvan Magens, and Hypnos Magens. When the Magen appears, your hit point maximum decreases by an amount equal to the Magen's challenge rating. Minimum reduction of 1. Only a wish spell can undo this reduction of your hit point maximum. Any Magen you create with a spell obeys your commands without question. So, this does put a theoretical limit on a number of Magens a wizard can create, because there's a limit on how many wish spells a person can get. And there's obviously a limit on the number of hit points that you can have. You know, so there's this is something that the more of these you create, the weaker you get, or the easier you get to kill. But I just had this, I think the terminology that they used in here really sort of sent my mind in one direction, and it's hard to pull it back once it goes down that road. When they say a life-sized human doll, it's like, oh, okay. Hey, wizard, what the hell are you doing in that lab? So you can create a Demos Magen, a Galvan Magen, or a Hypnos Magen. And I have those up here for us to look at. So a Demos Magen is a CR2 creature. So you create a Demos Magen, it's going to reduce your hit point maximum by 2. And it has an armor class of 16, 51 hit points, moves 30 feet, is immune to poison, and it has the construct immunities to being charmed, exhausted, frightened, paralyzed, poisoned. Understands the languages of its creator, but it cannot speak. Fiery end. If the Magen dies, its body disintegrates in a harmless burst of flame and smoke, leaving behind anything it was wearing or carrying. Magic resistance. It has advantage on saving throws against spells and other magical effects. Unusual nature, doesn't require air, food, drink, or sleep. And it makes 2 melee attacks. So it attacks either with a great sword or with a light crossbow, which would be the ranged attack. And these guys typically serve as guards. They look like humanoids with green skin. They are constructs. When it's wounded, its blood is seen to have the color and consistency of mercury. They exist purely through magical means. When it's killed, its body disappears in a burst of harmless fire and cloud of smoke that just quickly dissipates. Magical servants. Mages make ideal servants at creation. Each is instilled with an instinct to protect itself and its creator, and it follows its creator's instructions without hesitation. Yeah, like I said, wizard, what are you doing in that lab? With dolls that follow your instructions. Okay, now we come to the Galvin Magen. Galvin Magen, AC 14, hit point 68, speed 30, and it flies. And this one is immune to lightning and poison. Condition immunity to charm, exhaustion, frighten, paralyzed, poison. Again, understands languages of creator but cannot speak. Magic resistance and unusual nature. Multi-attack. Makes 2 shocking touch attacks. So, and this one is a CR3, so that means it'll reduce your hit point maximum by 3 if you create it. So, reach 5 feet. When target Magen has advantage on the attack roll if the target is wearing armor made of metal. And it deals 1d6 plus 4 lightning damage. And then it has a recharging ability for static discharge. Discharges a lightning bolt in a 60-foot line that's 5 feet wide. DC 14 save or take 4d10 lightning damage on a failed save. And yeah. So you have that one. Then you have a Hypnos Magen. Armor class 12, hit points 34, challenge rating 1. Okay, so now what's weird? Understands the languages of creator but cannot speak. It has telepathy out to 30 feet. Notice the Galvin Magen doesn't have telepathy. The Demos Magen doesn't have telepathy, but the Hypnos Magen does. And it has psionic attacks. So Psychic Lash, Magen's eyes glow silver as it targets one creature can see within 60 feet. Must succeed on DC 12 Wisdom save or take 2d10 psychic damage. And then it casts a suggestion spell as an action, requiring no material components. Now it's DC 12 save, so not great, but telepathically it will then command other creatures on its creator's behalf. Wow. Yeah. Hypnos Magen. Hypnos Magen is the silent wingman when the wizard goes out trolling at the bar. As I said, wizard, what are you doing in that lab? Oh my god. Okay. Then the spell I want to contrast this Create Magen with is the Similacrum spell. Okay, now Similacrum, we'll look at that in depth later on. But again, it's a 7th level spell and it takes 12 hours to cast. Touch, verbal, somatic, material component, duration until dispelled, and it's an illusion spell. So you create an illusionary duplicate duplicate of one beast or humanoid that is within range for the entire casting time of the spell. So you have to have the person there for 12 hours. The person or the beast there for 12 hours within touching distance. And it uses ice and snow to create a creature, or it seems to be a creature, that is partly real and formed from ice and snow. It looks and it appears to be the same as the original, but has half the creature's hit point maximum and is formed without any equipment. So otherwise, the illusion uses all the stats of the creature it duplicates, except that it is a construct. And it's friendly to you and creatures you designate. It obeys your spoken commands, moving and acting in accordance with your wishes and acting on your turn in combat. Lacks the ability to learn or become more powerful, so it never increases its level or other abilities, nor can it regain expended spell slots. So, yeah, you can use this simulacrum to create a duplicate of a high level spellcaster. And it will have all of the spells that the caster had at the time you created it. It will have half the hit points. But it's going to be otherwise pretty much able to fool most people until or unless it gets hit by something that either destroys it, knocks it down to 0 hit points, or until it gets hit by an effect that would normally affect the person but doesn't affect constructs. So, like if it were hit with a sleep and you're not duplicating an elf, well, constructs are immune to sleep. So, or something tries to charm it and there's nothing to charm there because it doesn't really have a mind. That's so Simulacrum, you're giving up some hit points, but it's a lot more flexible of a spell. This, you're getting, kind of defenders and guardians and servants that do very specific things. But you tell me. 1 hour casting, create anything. 12-hour casting, create a copy of anything, beast or humanoid. What do you think? Is one of them overpowered? One of them underpowered? Both of them being 7th level spells? I'd like to know in the comments below. Let me know what your thoughts are on that. All right, and that's going to do it for tonight's Arcane Wednesday. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video, click the post notification bell, look in the description for the ways you can follow me on social media, and how you can find all of the streams that I do over on my YouTube channel. Not YouTube, over on my Twitch channel. This is the YouTube channel. All right, thanks, everybody. Take care, and good night.